Hey everyone, welcome to a bonus episode of the Locked On Steelers podcast. I'm your host, Chris Carter. Remember, you can find the show on your favorite podcasting apps and on YouTube. This is a special emergency episode. As I told you guys, I was going on vacation, but I always keep that thing on me, not John Morant's gun, this microphone, because we here to talk about emergency episodes, and that's Alex Highsmith signing his extension. Now, as you guys know, I'm on vacation. I'm out for the week. I'm not going to be back till like Tuesday next week, so we're not going to have new full episodes. So understand that I won't be talking about Alex Highsmith's new contract that he just signed, an extension, which will keep him with the team through 2027. That's what we're here to do today. I brought my stuff with me just in case something like this happens. So let's get into Alex Highsmith's new deal and what I think it really means for the Pittsburgh Steelers. For one, it is a 4-year extension, which means he adds on 4 years on top of this upcoming season. So he is with the team through 2027. That means also that with the amount of money that he signed for, $68 million, with that new 4-year extension on top of the money that he's making this year, he's going to be averaging about $17 million a year for the Steelers as far as a payday, putting him in the top 10 as far as edge rushers and how he's getting paid in the NFL, comparable to guys like Chandler Jones and Shaquille Barrett, as noted by our friends at SteelersNow.com. I think that there is a really good sign that the Steelers continue to commit to the players that they draft, they develop, and then they keep along with the franchise for quite some time. And Alex Highsmith has been a prime example of why you do that, why you don't just flip out and go get guys in free agency and just count on those guys like when they brought in Melvin Ingram and it didn't work out at the edge rusher position, because Alex Highsmith they saw as the future. And last year, Alex Highsmith had 14 and a half sacks, and he was huge for the Steelers. And like I said, after that season, I was like, he is going to cost a good bit of money, and it's clear that he has. But with the signing of Alex Highsmith, the Steelers put themselves in a position to have the best edge rushing duo for the next several years. TJ Watt's current contract, as it stands right now, runs through 2025. I would not be shocked if that gets extended at the end of it and they find a way to keep him longer. But when we're talking about Alex Highsmith's contract, it running through 2027 now. They have these guys for several seasons working together, and we've seen how good they are when they work together. Alex Highsmith, for as great as he is on his own, he is much better when he gets the chance to play next to TJ Watt, and they get to kind of combine with each other. And then you also still have Cam Hayward, Larry Ogunjobi for this upcoming season. I think that the Steelers have a true potential great mix up front on defense. But Alex Highsmith is beyond just what he can bring to the table as far as a teammate with other great players. He's a great player in and of himself. I've said that for a while. I think that he's truly coming up. I think that especially if you could have seen what we were seeing as reporters at minicamp and OTAs, not hitting because they didn't have pads on, but the amount of technique work he put into technique to get sharper, to get quicker, those things I think make him a very valuable piece. He's going to be a top tier edge rusher for many years moving forward, I think, in the NFL. And the Steelers locking him up shows their commitment to make sure that they do have the best defense in the league potentially in the coming years. You still have TJ Watt, you still have Minkah Fitzpatrick. They drafted Joey Porter Jr. They're hoping Keanu Benton can work on the defensive line. But Highsmith and Watt being your key factors here. Pass rushing is one of the biggest factors in the NFL today. Now you may have the best pass rushing set in all of the NFL. I want to touch on a few things here. One, there is the pushback of the notion that maybe the Steelers are spending too much on their defense again. And this was something that was brought up last year when they were they were the highest paid defense in the NFL, but also the lowest paid offense in the NFL because they were paying so many dead contracts from players who had either retired or they let go and other things like that. Alex Highsmith, though, I think if you hear someone say that and you think, okay, maybe there's some merit there, I'm telling you this. The Steelers are capitalizing on the players they draft and develop right now. The majority of their offense right now, the playmakers that everyone's excited to see, they're on rookie deals. Kenny Pickett's in his second year. Najee Harris is in his third year. Pat Freiermuth is in third year. George Pickett's second year. Broderick Jones, a rookie. They still have signed guys to their offense to help them out, like Isaac Seumalo, like James Daniels. They're paying Chukwuma Okorafor a lot of money, even if you think that he's not worth it much. They're paying him that money. They also paid Deontay Johnson to stick around, and as much as some people don't like Deontay Johnson, he's a great route runner in the NFL. They are investing in the offense, but right now things go in cycles, and I think people misunderstand when they're saying, "Oh, they're spending too much on defense." That's because that's where the bulk of their talent is. This is still a team that's going to win with defense over offense, and it's going to take time for that offense to get to a level that is competing with the best in the league. You don't try to copy other teams' formulas like the Chiefs and try to say, "Oh, we'll just invest all in offense," but you don't have Patrick Mahomes, so then you're just a worse version of that team. No, you build your own style of team. You build your own style of team that is based on your strengths, so that when you're coming at those opponents, you're playing to your strengths, not to theirs. Because all the things that I think what some people out there want to happen is for the Steelers to just invest and say, "Oh, we're paying for, we're just taking wild swings at quarterback, every year, and we're spending all this money on just free agent wide receivers." And they got a free agent wide receiver, by the way. They got Allen Robinson, who I think will be a really good number 3 option for Kenny Pickett. But it's clear the Steelers want to get better on offense. But the key to all of this really is being able to play to your strengths. And right now, the Steelers' strength is still defense, and and to solidify that up for the future, you keep the assets that you've grown within your own locker room. Guys like Alex Highsmith, who aren't just really good talents, they're guys that are really good locker room presences. And Alex Highsmith told us, we brought this up on the show all through May and June when he was at OTAs and minicamp. That man never held out. Whenever we asked about him, he said things are looking good, and things look really good for him now. He's getting a much-deserved payday, and I think he's going to prove that the Steelers right with their investment in him. And I think that the Steelers are in a position right now to kind of show the NFL you don't have to play just this one way as far as investing in just high passing offenses that try to lead the way all the time. The Steelers would love to have that, but right now you're not getting that with a second-year quarterback in Kenny Pickett with a makeshift offensive line while you're figuring out how to run the ball consistently, how to throw the ball consistently in an offense as you're completely revamping your team. It's very rare that you get to just revamp things and things just kick off right away, especially when you're not doing it with like top 10 picks every year like some of the teams like the Bengals did to rebuild their roster. So I think that this is a bottom line here on the Locked On Steelers podcast, just with our emergency episode here. I think the Steelers, this is a great move by them. I think this is going to be very beneficial for them long term and in the short term. I think that they have put themselves in a position to keep pillar players on their defense. And I think eventually what's going to happen too, as we're talking about guys like TJ Watt, and Alex Highsmith sticking around. TJ Watt is 29 years old this season. Alex Highsmith is 26 years old this season. So in 3 years' time, you're assuming that Cam Hayward by then eventually retires, unless he's still hanging around and just being an all-pro defensive tackle. Who knows? Maybe he can be. He is an awesome player. But you need guys at different positions to hold down while you find that new talent to grow into those spots. And maybe Keanu Benton is that guy. Maybe DeMarvin Leal is that guy. Maybe they already have those guys. But you having those two pillar guys who can keep playing great while also holding down the fort and making it easier for other guys to step into their roles, that is so important to the development and maintenance of a great unit on either side of the ball. The Steelers' offense will need its investments soon enough. When Najee Harris's contract is up, we've already talked about how that's going to be a whole question with how running backs aren't getting paid in the NFL right now, and Najee Harris obviously not happy with how other running backs are being treated. We'll see what that happens there. But what about Pat Freiermuth? Does he get paid when his time comes? What about George Pickens? They're already paying Deontay Johnson. In 5 years' time, Broderick Jones, if he's who you think he is, he's going to need a contract. And I really foresee with the way that they've invested in Isaac Seumalo, I would not be shocked if they went out and got a bigger center after this season with Mason Cole being a solid veteran there. They want to get sharp on the offensive line. They want to get stronger. That's what Andy Weidl did for the Philadelphia Eagles. He invested in the trenches. I think the Steelers continue to do that moving forward. And you've even seen them recently. Their last several drafts, they drafted Kenny Pickett in the first round just a year ago. Broderick Jones this past year. Najee Harris. They're investing in the offense. They want the offense to win. But right now, the developed talent is on the defensive side of the ball because years ago when the Killer Bees were around, they were investing in the defense because they already knew they had the talent on offense. Things go in cycles. So understand that before you listen to somebody who says, oh, the Steelers, they don't care about their offense. They just want to invest in their defense, and they think that's the only thing that matters in the NFL. That's not what they're doing. They're paying the guys that are on their roster right now to keep them around because you keep good talent while they're drafting guys for the offense so that in 5 years' time when some of those defensive guys are aging out and the shift of the strength of the team goes to the offense, they can pay the offense while they're drafting the defense. Natural cycles, they happen in the NFL. Big thing for Alex Highsmith to get this contract before training camp so he doesn't have to worry about that going into camp. The Steelers wanted to get it done. He wanted to get it done, and it got done. So those are my thoughts on that. We'll have more on that when I come back next week. Just a reminder, all of our episodes throughout the rest of the week, Thursday with Josh Taylor, Friday with Jenna Harner, will have been recorded on Tuesday, so we'll not have this information as part of the show. That's why I did this emergency episode that I'm doing now. We're gonna take Monday off because I'll still be traveling and I'll still be doing my thing as far as my vacation, but we'll be back Tuesday where I can give a full episode breaking down my thoughts on Alex Highsmith, TJ Watt, and why I think they can be the best edge rushing duo in the NFL for years to come because of a deal like this that keeps them together for longer. Again, thanks for checking out the Locked On Steelers podcast. I'm your host, Chris Carter. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Carter Critiques. Read my work at the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Check me out here on the Monday through Friday episodes of the Locked On Steelers podcast, which you can find on your favorite podcasting apps and on YouTube. Thanks again, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the episodes this week. I'll be back Tuesday with a brand new episode that will include the Alex Highsmith contract and get us ready for training camp as players report on Wednesday. Lots of stuff happening fast. We'll see you then.